Hi everyone, I am a SAT teacher, so I decided to make a series of SAT verbal lesson videos, and I will upload them in YouTube channel and also Instagram account that you can later watch and expand your knowledge on what actually happens or what is required to know in SAT writing verbal, fundamental I would say, because there are also other question types. So today we're going to learn relative clauses. So I will explain this lesson as a set of 5 different lessons. Today I'm going to explain the first part of relative clauses. So if you ask me why we need to learn relative clauses, where this need comes from to use relative clause in a sentence, because sometimes we need to combine short sentences to make them more formal academic. So then this natural need appears to be, and we also need them to use. Okay, the relative clauses basically, our relative clauses basically are who, which, that, whose, whom, when, where, reason plus why, and we can also extend it if you want, but it's enough for the beginning. So let's take who. Who is used for people. For people, it's a person. It's a person. Which is used for non-person. Non-person. It's for things, inanimate things. Inanimate things. That can be used instead of both. Later I will explain. Whose, we can also use whose for person, also for inanimate thing. Who is used for person. For person, let's make it both. For person, for both. I mean this one, who and which. When, this is for time. Where, for place, as you guess. Reason why is also another structure. So let's first take person and let's look at why we need it and how we can use it. So let's look at an example and let's focus on first who. Let's get who. So let's look at the sentence first. Let's look at the sentence. I have a friend. He loves science. He loves science. Yes. And these are the 2 short sentences I wrote here. I have a friend who loves science. But I can also combine it. So this is a need actually. There's a reason why we need to use relative clause. Now I want to combine them to make better sentence structure, maybe some higher level. So when you see the same motif components of the sentences, say friend, because the pronoun here used is a reference from the previous sentence, friend he. Combine them, we can do what? We keep the first noun here, we keep the first noun, but we make change here. Instead of this pronoun, we use relative clause, relative pronoun we use. And then the combination happens. I have a friend. Let's keep it here. And then instead of he, let's write who to combine it. Who, the rest the same. Who loves science. This is a sentence. See? And we made the great combination here, but simple combination too, because instead of just he, we wrote here who, because who also refers to a friend here, and we don't need to use friend here twice. So like using relative clause reduces the use of the same thing. Okay, and the general structure, if you ask me, I would say it's like person plus who plus verb. It's the structure of who. This is the structure. The verb, I mean main verb, predicative here. Person. So this is about who. Now we can then continue with which. But here, one more point here is that in this explanation, I use who as the subject of sentence. Subject. Let me erase now to clean this part and move on to the second part. Which is also interesting. Which here is for inanimate things. That's right. We use it for inanimate things. So, and here, which is quite flexible or supple, we can say that we don't need to use it. We don't need to expect for it any specific condition to use it as a subject or as an object of sentence. We can just use it to paraphrase a relative pronoun as a reference to the noun in the previous sentence, to combine them. Let's look at the sentence. I bought a book. It is really interesting. So this simple sentence actually. So book and it. We know that this pronoun refers back to book here. So we can do what? We can make a great combination here and write what? So the rule is that we still keep the first left is noun. We keep the noun. We make the change regarding the pronoun. We replace it with relative pronoun. So the book is inanimate, so we can write it this way. So now combination is going to be as follows. I bought a book, which is really interesting. So here, we can claim that which, at least in the sentence, which seems to be subject of a sentence, yes. But we also said that which is flexible, so flexible that we don't need to expect it to be in a special condition in terms of the structure in which it's used to mean something special. No. In any structure it's used, it means the same thing. That's why we do not make the difference here. And let's look at one more sentence where which is going to be out of the subject of the sentence, but into an object of sentence. Let's look at this one. So, for example, so here, like it's also we'll talk about one more thing here. So my friends, for example, find it interesting. Let's look at this sentence. So in the sentence, you see that the next sentence begins with something else, like another subject. Let's say friends. So when we combine them, we can say I bought a book which my friends find, but this time, of course, we are meant to remove it from the sentence because it is book. The fact is that I used which here, I can't write the same thing, noun and relative pronoun, in the same sentence structure. Find interesting. So of course here I can also remove which. It's also possible. So without which the sentence also makes sense. I bought a book which my friends find interesting, or I bought a book my friends find interesting. So here, like later we'll talk about it, it's essential and essential, restrictive or non-restrictive relative clause. And we have now that, before we said that, so we can use that instead of both of them, that. This is a good example, but using that sounds more formal. There's one more thing that makes that special compared to who or which. But later we will talk about it. Or maybe in the second video, in relative clause 2, we will talk about it. But today here, let's now get into that. So just we can replace who or which with that. So simple, so professional. And wherever you see here in the sentence who or which, you can just write it that. So I have a friend, let's write the previous sentence, that loves science. But later we'll also learn one more fact. When in SAT structure, when we can use that, when we cannot use that. So like that cannot be used as a replacement for who or which. So we will learn that situation too. When we cannot do this. But now we can do it. It's a general approach first. I have a friend that loves science. And or one more sentence. I bought a book that my friends find interesting. Like this. You see, here we used that instead of who or which. I think that's enough. Now for now, just. Now let's go to whose. Let's go to whose. As I said, we can use whose for both who and which situation. Let's look at the sentence. First, maybe just let's listen to the sentence. I have a friend. His father has a car collection. It's a car collection. So you see, like a friend and his father. So we can still combine them because it's possible. So to make it more academic, the sentence girls need to combine. So if you ask me how to combine, will be made. Let's say combination will be made. So we can say we will keep friend here, but instead of his, we will write just whose. Always, let's say, relative pronoun in the original version, in a separate form, is a subject to be replaced by relative clause, relative pronoun, let's say, actually, relative pronoun. So I have a friend whose father has a car collection. So instead of just his, I wrote the whose and I combined them so easily. And if it's a person here, so we can write that. Let's write the structure. Person whose, or it can also be people. So no problem about the form of the noun, singular or plural. It can be singular or plural. It's not a problem. So person plus whose plus a noun. So this noun can also be singular or plural. But in my example, I wrote a single noun, a single person here, person means friend, and also single noun, father. This is the structure, let's say, for this. And the second application, let's say, of whose here is to combine sentences based on inanimate things. Let's look at that one. Let's move to here and clean the pot. For example, I have a cat. Its tail is longer than usual. So this simple sentence, longer. Good. So cat this time is not a person, it's an animal. but we have its. So it's still pronoun here. What we can do is to be able to replace it with relative pronoun. It's who, which is whose, of course. So we can write as follows: I have a cat whose tail is longer. The rest of the sentence is the same. Only change we make it here than usual. That's all. You should understand. Cat whose tail. So this time it's a thing or things, the structure. Whose plus a thing or things. I just wrote it in singular form, but it counts to plural. Like this. And then comes here whom. Whom. Let's focus on now whom. It's the structure. Let's focus on now whom. Whom, we use whom as an object in a sentence. Let's write whom. Whom. Example, let's look at an example. I talked to a man. I saw him yesterday. So I talked to a man. I saw him yesterday. So two simple sentences. However, we can make it again complex by the help of relative clause. So how can we do that? How can we do this? So again, we will first remove pronoun from the sentence, the separate sentences, and we'll make a combination here. So I talked to a man. I talked to a man. Then we remove this one. Whom comes here. Whom I saw yesterday. Like this. So what is strange or what is special is that again we have a person whom. It's like if you compare this, whom, the use of whom as an object, to the use of whose as a subject, the difference is that here we use a person, then whom, then sentence clause. But with who, we knew that it was a person whose, person who and verb, predicative. Here we do not use predicative, we continue or with another clause here. This is the point. So we can conclude, we can generalize the structure person or people plus whom plus a clause. Clause is a sentence, let's say. Like this. So that's it. Now we just have two things. When, where, and stress. Sorry. This is all about whom. And later I will explain it because I talked to the man whom. Yes, then we can also make, let me just explain one more point. Here we wrote, I talked to the man whom I saw yesterday. Later I will explain one more point in the next video. When. Let's write when. When is so simple because you know that you need to use time clause. So when you use when as a relative clause, that's not a subordinate clause. Here you need what? You need guys time expression plus when. This is a structure. For example, I saw him last time, or we can also use last time. I saw him 10 years ago, when I was studying at university. at university. So here look, it's time expression and use the when. Time expression when. This is the structure for when. It's so simple. We also have a where. Probably you already guessed that if we use time expression with when, then it's likely to be used